Welcome to the Leaders Insights podcast. Today's episode, IPO readiness, how the concept was actually built. Here's a claim to open with: IPO readiness, the whole discipline of getting a company prepared to go public, is largely a fiction sold by advisors. Convince me I'm wrong.
You're half right, which is the dangerous kind of wrong. The consulting industrial version of readiness, named the 400-item checklist, the year-long readiness assessment, that's partly theater. But the underlying discipline exists because companies used to blow up in public, spectacularly, and someone decided that shouldn't keep happening.
So where did it actually come from? Because nobody talks about a moment when this got invented.
Follow the accountability. Before 2002, going public meant filing your paperwork with the regulator and hoping your books held up. Then Enron and WorldCom collapsed. WorldCom alone was an $11 billion accounting fraud, and the U.S. passed Sarbanes-Oxley, the law that forces executives to personally certify their financial controls.
And that's the origin story? A fraud law?
That's the spine of it. Section 404 of that law, the bit requiring you to document and test your internal controls, meaning proof that the numbers can't be quietly fudged, turned readiness from a vibe into homework. Suddenly, a CFO couldn't just show up with audited statements. You had to demonstrate the machine that produced them worked.
But most companies filing today aren't committing fraud. Isn't this just compliance cosplay for honest firms?
The controls piece, no. What's cosplay is everything bolted on afterward. Somewhere around the 2010s, the banks and Big Four accounting firms realized readiness was a billable product. So the checklist metastasized: governance, investor relations, the equity story, ESG disclosures, cyber. Useful things sold as existential things.
Give me the tell. How do I know when readiness has tipped into theater?
When the deliverable is a binder, nobody opens. I've watched companies spend 18 months and 7 figures on readiness and still miss earnings in their first public quarter, which is the only readiness that counts. WE work is the museum piece, gorgeous narrative, and the S1 filing, the document you submit before an IPO, revealed the founder had leased his own buildings back to the company. No checklist saves you from that.
So what's the part that's genuinely real and non-negotiable?
2 things. 1. Can you close your books fast and predictably? A public company reports quarterly on a hard clock. If your monthly close takes 25 days and involves a heroic spreadsheet named after someone's dog, you are not ready. 2. Can you forecast within a tight band? Not can you dream. Can you tell the market $200 million and land at $198 to $205?
That second one feels harsh. Nobody predicts revenue perfectly.
Nobody does. But the public market punishes surprise more than it punishes slow growth. Snap went public in 2017, missed its very first user growth number, and the stock fell roughly 20% in a day. The business wasn't broken. The forecasting muscle was. That's the readiness gap that actually bites.
You mentioned vendors selling this. Are the readiness software companies part of the racket?
Some of it's real, some of it's marketing, and I'd say that as someone who's bought both. The close automation tools genuinely compress your monthly close. I've seen it go from 20 days to 8. But when a vendor tells you their platform makes you IPO ready, read that as IPO ready to write us a check. The software fixes plumbing. It doesn't fix a story that doesn't hold up.
Then let me push the whole premise. If most of this predates 2002 as instinct and got formalized as a product, should a company skip the readiness circus entirely?
No, but reframe it. Readiness isn't preparation for a filing date. It's operating like a public company 2 years before you have to. If being watched every 90 days changes how you'd run the business, you weren't ready. You were performing. The filing just removes the curtain.
Give me the one thing a CFO does Monday morning.
Run a mock earnings quarter this quarter. Close the books on the real deadline. Publish a forecast to your board. Then measure how far off you landed. If the number embarrasses you, better it does now, when no one's shorting your stock over it.
That's a wrap. Fresh CFO briefings drop daily at mba-training.com.